Meanwhile, New York has declared a state of emergency over polio to boost vaccination rates in the state amidst further evidence that the virus is in fact spreading across the state. Now, the polio virus has now been detected in sewage samples from at least about 4 different counties in New York's metro area and also in the city itself. Now, the counties include the likes of Rockland, Orange, Sullivan and Nassau area. And according to the authorities, wastewater samples from these areas have tested positive for paralytic polio, a polio virus that can actually cause paralysis in humans. The state authorities began wastewater surveillance in the month of July after an unvaccinated adult had caught polio in Rockland County and suffered from paralysis. And this was the first known infection in the country in nearly about a decade. The State Health Department has said that it aims to boost the immunization rate from the current statewide average of 79% to at least over 90%. Now, the emergency order that was issued on Friday by Governor Kathy Hochul is the state's third this year. And earlier, the state authorities had issued similar orders to contain coronavirus and also monkeypox outbreak in the state. The declaration of such an order allows for emergency medical workers, midwives and pharmacists to join the network of people who can actually roll out the polio vaccine to members of the general public. Now, polio was largely eradicated from the United States by way of an immunization program that began way back in 1955. So far, there is no cure for polio as of now, but there is a very effective vaccine with which polio can be prevented. Now, the virus mainly affects children and it typically results in muscles being wasted away. In some serious cases, it can also cause permanent disability and even death. An inactivated polio vaccine is used both in the United States and the United Kingdom as part of the childhood immunization program. Although some states have very high vaccination rates against polio, there are several areas in the United States that continue to fall way behind the national average of nearly about 93%. And it is interesting to note here that while developed nations like the United States are now witnessing a resurgence in the virus, countries like India have eradicated the virus completely. The last case of polio that was reported in India was in the eastern state of West Bengal. But for that, you have to go back a decade ago to the year 2011. And since then, India has been free of this virus for over a decade now. And it has also officially received the polio-free certification from the World Health Organization on the 27th of March in 2014. The commendable task was achieved due to India's mass immunization program that catered to every single citizen, to every child across the nation. And it was rolled out through the Pulse Polio Immunization Program, which began in 1994, when the country had accounted for nearly about 60% of all global cases. And this immunization was done for every single child for free. And within 2 decades, India, through this remarkable polio-free program, has now gone on to achieve the status of being a polio-free nation. And India's success with immunization is an outstanding achievement, not only for the country, but also indeed for the rest of the world. Now, India has consistently contributed to the global sustainable development goals by focusing on the immunization of newborns, infants, children and pregnant women. Under its universal immunization program, and India provides vaccines against 11 diseases nationally and 1 disease subnationally, targeting millions of newborns and pregnant women every single year. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.